has changed in search engine optimization at this point, and where we are at the moment, we are struggling, and we are looking forward to making sure that our content, our systems, our website, our product, our services are being cited, are being referred to users who are making search on different platform than the traditional platform. My name is Victor, and today I'm going to be walking you through the simple step-by-step process on how I optimize my blog post and my website in general as a solo entrepreneur running three different online marketing agencies for different niche, and how you can get this done by yourself as a single entrepreneur or as a founder. All right, so let's get into the books. All right, so first things first, I'm going to start from the bottom. Right, so there are four things that are very, very important, which is almost like the traditional SEO, especially when you're thinking about kind of a mix of on page, off page, and technical SEO at this point in one. All right, so before now, you do on page, you do off page, and you do local. But there is now a very, very mix, and some things that were not really in priority before are now in priority. So the first things first is robot.txt. All right, so I'm going to select this guy. I'm going to come here and I'm going to see, right? So this is what my robot.txt file looks like. Right, this is the instruction I'm passing. Right, user agents allowed, disallowed, none. Right, but on the back end, I'm closing in some routes that I wouldn't want the crawlers to have access to, which is like on the technical side. But here's something I want to bring your attention to. I've been seeing most people say, okay, so you need to have like a very, very special kind of robot.txt file to allow LLMs to be able to crawl your websites. And I see something like this. So when they do something like LLM.txt, right, so this is wrong. Let me use the red and say wrong. Now, the reason is I was going through the Google documentation about how to get your system over your website cited on Google Overview, right? Before at the early stages, right? And the priority now, the key things that I took note of, traditional SEO and traditional practices still works, right? But now the only thing that is different is the fact that how your information is being pulled, right? Your information is being pulled, because the whole idea is this is overview. You have information is being pulled, the best sources, which Google still maintains the EEAT, right? The best sources being pulled, other factors, the factors are not disclosed, right? But contents are being pulled based on user search, based on interest, and based on other factors. I wouldn't want to start. Factors are just so many, right? But you should understand. But now the core, which is still how you treat SEO, how you operate in terms of, like, for example, this robot.txt file, there's nothing changing, right? Using a simple robot.txt, passing a simple robot.txt instruction like this would make your content rank and also get you cited or also get you seen by these large language models, by these systems every time, any day. So there's no need bugging your content or bugging your system with lots of LLMs or TXT files and all of those things. It doesn't work, right? It doesn't work. I don't see it as, I don't see that it's working. Now the next thing that I should bring to your notice is schema. Now, this is the major. Now, this, for anything that anybody is saying and everything that you've been understanding about SEO and what is going on, AI, AESEO, GEO, and everything that happens, this is the core. Now, before now, the whole schema and everything around it, for me, I've not been taking it as lots of priority in terms of I just fill in and just do lots of things. But as of 2020, late 2020, early 2024, late 2024 and early 2025, I started taking my schema very, very important. Now, this is like the first thing. For the first 1 week I jump into any SEO project, this is the first thing I do. I make sure I try to treat the schemas well and just make them they're all visible. And for things like FAQ, right? FAQ, FAQ schema, reviews, ratings. Now, especially if you're doing like a directory, or if you're doing like a you have like a course, you're doing like an e-commerce, like e-com, right? You need to make sure that these guys, the ratings, review, are working very, 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 very well, and it's active on all your products, right? So it's not like a one time, it's active on all your products. Why is happening? Why okay, Victor, so why is schema very, very important for me at this point, right? So schema is a structured data Java, yes, structured data JavaScript, right? That in instruction structured tells the search engine, tell these systems, right, that this is a data, this is what this looks like, this is it. More like an identifier, right? You would want to use that word, an identifier. Yes, so you could say, okay, Victor, I thought they also understand the normal English language, like the number, sentence, and alphabet and all. Yes, that works for the user side, right? User side, and we are dealing with two things. We are dealing with user side, search engine side, or you can say also server side, right? Search engine side, right? So the search engine understand English, user understand English, but to get more advanced, which is where we are at the moment, right? So we're thinking about LLMs, right? This is where your structured data is all about. So something like organization, right? Type of business, location, all these are very, very important. Now, also you want to remember that you're also thinking about local SEO. You want to make sure that the idea about search engine is you want to make sure wherever people are searching for you, right, you are getting found. And the Google search results page is an experience. You have the map, you have images, you have videos, you have articles, right? And you want to try as much as possible as a very, very serious business owner to make sure that you are on this different search experience, right? So that is why schema is very, very important. So now you want to learn more about schema, you want to check the search console documentation, right? It's a free resource, always updated from Google, right, to see what is on trend, right? So if you look here, you see we have two valid items detected, non-critical issue detected. This is an issue, this is an issue. On the first day, almost like the first month where I got this fixed, right, everything was clean, everything was perfectly well, right, up until today when I started making prep for this particular video and I noticed this issue and this issue here to tell you that lots of things are going in, lots of systems are being rolled off and new systems are coming in, right? So this is very, very important to always check in most of these your systems to also update, right? So the next thing which is also important is your URL structure. Now the URL structure, if you're using content management systems like WordPress, this is already a fixed bet. This is already clean, right? This is already sorted out. But if you're building it yourself, right? If you're hiring a developer to build from scratch and using this thing, right? So at all costs, right? You want to avoid. I couldn't get a screenshot of a bad URL, so I could use as an example. You want to avoid bad URLs that just carry numbers and just carry lots of symbols and things like that. Now, it's totally different if you're doing if you're using a URL UTM tracking link. Totally different. UTM tracking link, it's not for all your links and all your pages, for specific pages. But if you're going to be heavily depending on content, website content to get traffic, I mean, to rank on your first month, second month, or using as a marketing strategy, you want to make sure your URLs are clean like this, right? So let me break down what this URL looks like here. So if you see here, so we have best digital tools. This is keyword one, and we have um keyword two, and now we have local SEO. This is local, right? So this is the breakdown on this keyword. So I have the first keyword, digital tools, and we have second keyword for real estate marketing, and we have the third one, which is location specific for Nigeria, right? So this is what you want to consider about your URL, especially for these points. Now, if someone goes to ChatGPT, or if someone goes and say, okay, so what where so I'm a real estate developer, I'm a real estate agent, and I'm looking for best digital marketing tools or digital tools that I can use to sell my real estate properties in Nigeria. Right. If you search that out, there are 100 possibilities that you're going to see a link out, and you're going to see my website on it. So not really my website at this point, but you're going to have an idea, because now the search engine or the LLMs are going to pull up results, which these things have already been done before now. So it's not at the moment where a user is searching and everything is happening, right? Just the way crawlers are finding your content, and you're being indexed and you're being served, right? That is the way they're also having access. So everything has happened within a split of second, and they already know that, okay, yeah, if a user is finding this kind of keyword based on this, less, everything just happened immediately, right? So this is how I would advise you to always structure your content. Add a keyword, add a keyword. Now, if you want to then get all location specific, then you can add location at the end, like what I've done here. This is keyword. Let me change this to text keyword, keyword one, keyword two, and location, right? So now the next thing that makes the most of the sense for me now is now the actual thing, which is conversational search. And that is where we are at the moment, right? That is the major. Now, I always just like when I started, I said, like, I still do my SEO processes the old school way. When I mean the old school way, I still maintain the traditional principles in terms of using Google search. I use Uber Suggest as well. Have a very, very simple workflow on how I do my SEO processes for my business. Now, at this point, we have quite a global issue going on: Iran, Israel, United States, right? There's an ongoing war. Now, I just searched Iran war, and these are the queries, or these are what people are searching for, right? These are what people are searching for. Now, it's very, 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 very possible, right? Remember, everything we're trying to think about, we are thinking about ChatGPT, we are thinking about cloud, we are thinking about how we get cited on these LLMs, right? Now, it's very, very possible that someone just randomly searching, okay, how many US military have died in Iran, right? Or who has the stronger army, Iran or Israel, right? Now, what exactly you want to think about here is when looking for keyword, because keyword is what makes your blog post topic. Now, looking at this here, already you can craft out 2 different blog posts from this, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4 can all sum as one blog post, right? One blog post. And how exactly do you create keyword or blog post topic from, let's say, people also search questions? Now, it's a very, very simple process. What you want to do, you want to go to GPT, or Gemini, preferably Gemini, and putting this 1, 2, 3 let's say four, right? And give a prompt, right? Your prompt, how creative you are with your prompt will determine the kind of blog post topic you're going to get. And from there, right, outline, and you can now use this as a FAQ. I just give you a very, very simple framework on how to build a blog post, or how to build blog posts with people also search, right? So that is what you're going to do. So it's not like you have to start creating, or start to how will I make this very, very clear now? It's not like you start writing content on Iran war, you just start Iran war and start writing the content. So no, it has to be conversational, right? It has to be conversational. Then in those conversations, right, as you're writing the conversation, you have to now make this, put in almost everything you see on this side and most of the outline you get from Chat GPT or Gemini, right? So ideally, why I created this diagram here is how a content is supposed to be structured, right? It's supposed to be clean with one glance on a zoom out, right? Someone can just have like a clear view of what your content on what your blog post looks like. Not everything just looks so scattered, not really arranged, no headings, no subheadings. If you notice, I didn't talk about anything about headings and subheadings because those things are not something that's supposed to be said. They are already like a priority checklist, right? It's supposed to be there, right? And I'm very, very sure with this 1, 2, 3, 4 points, right, I've been able to let you know how important it is, right, to also pay attention to the old school. Yes, right. Now, having said all this, with having having given you all these asanas, having given you all these bullet points, I'm very, very convinced that you are able to get your website on Google Overview, on ChatGPT, or all any other system that you think that, okay, Victor, I think I want my website and I want my content to be here. Now, the basic principle still remains the same. All you just need to do, the priorities, and how you are the priorities and doing less. Right. I think at this point in SEO, we would want to say less is more, in terms of less in putting unnecessary word TXT file, less in making sure you put in the specific schema, and making sure that at very, very possible they are on automation, less in making your URL very, very simple and very, very straightforward, less in using complicated keyword and complicated search term, and making your keyword research process very, very simple, using simple tools like Google. People also search to have like 4, 5, 6 articles, 4, 5, 6 people also search question, and putting it into a system like ChatGPT or Gemini to create a content for you. Now, there are lots of automation tools you can use to do this online. I don't have any that I can recommend for you, right? But if you have, you can put down on the comment section or call my attention to it, and I'm going to make a search on it and give you my feedback on it. Right. But that doesn't mean that you can't create automation for creating content. I have some automation tools I created by myself to create content online that is less stress free. All right. So I'm going to see you in the next one. If you have any question on SEO, Google, right, and content, you could reach out to me, and I'm definitely going to give you a response. All right. Cheers.